Hey everybody, Weem here. Welcome to Ort Online. This is a game I've actually been following only for a couple days now and just picked up. It's available today, as of today, Thursday. And yeah, I wanted to jump in here, just kind of quickly introduce you to the game. I say quickly, it's not going to be that quick, I don't think, because I'm considering doing some videos on this as we go. As they add features to it and everything. One of the things I want to tell you right up front is that I'm very excited about this game. That I believe it has a lot of potential. They could do some really cool things with it, and in fact, they have some really cool plans for it. But I would caution you that there's really not a ton of features here just yet. We can run around in the world and break down the blocks as you can imagine you would do. But and there's a couple other things we can do as well as far as exploration, but there's no other creatures. There are other players, but no other creatures or anything like that. So very light on features right now, but it's still very early. This is kind of a pre-alpha. So anyway, I just wanted to give you this quick look and let you kind of show you the game and see what you guys think about it. And definitely let me know in the comments if this is a game, you know, after you hear my kind of spiel about it, if you would want to see, you know, me do some videos on maybe later as they add features or whatever. So Ort Online is basically a game where you can it's an MMO. It's an online voxel based MMO sandbox game, and we've got other players. Obviously when we talk about MMO there's other players, but we also have multiple worlds. So there's a lot of features I'm going to talk about, but I think probably we'll start there. This world that I'm currently in, if I hit tab, it says it's Ruchs, I guess, R-U-C-H-S. So in this world we've got kind of this setup, this biome essentially, and I think there's some variation in the world, and I'm going to kind of just start running in one particular direction as I'm talking here. See if I can run and talk at the same time. But essentially we've got worlds, plural, and what that means is there's multiple worlds you can actually visit, and players can go to them and build on them and move between them actually pretty easily. I can actually jump into a menu right now and teleport to any one of I don't know, I think there's maybe 50 or some odd worlds right now. I could start building right on that world anywhere I want, and kind of get started that way. Now the worlds vary, each one of them is different, has its own kind of biome, its own kind of setup, and including there's going to be worlds in the future. I don't know if there's any just yet, but there's going to be worlds that you go into that are inhospitable. I think one description was one like filled with volcanoes and lava and stuff like that, something that you couldn't really just go build and necessarily survive well in, even though I suppose we try and do that from time to time in games like Minecraft. But anyway, that's kind of one of the big prominent features in this game is the multiple worlds and being able to quickly transport between them. They actually have a really cool graphic. Well, I say graphic because I'm thinking of a screenshot, but they have an effect where you can see through a portal into another world and actually see it, you know, for what it is, and you could just step right on through and be in their world. All the worlds are synced, you know, with time and everything. You could actually be looking through to another world while somebody's building something. And in fact, they show that in their trailer. I'm going to actually have that linked in the description, by the way. If you're interested, I'll have a link to the primary trailer for the game. So every world is different, as they say, uniquely different, and so that's kind of a big part of it. Now, you're probably wondering what Ort means, and that's actually the name of a civilization, and I'm going to actually jump to a grappling hook here, and we're going to start jumping around here. But that's the name of a group that used to be here. It's kind of a civilized group that explored worlds, and in fact, in our worlds, we can end up running across some of their artifacts. And from what I've seen, you actually will use those to create other portals as well. And look at how pretty this is. Isn't that pretty? Now I have what's called the depth of field on, so where I focus is detailed and it kind of blurs out the outer edges around that, but I think that's just kind of a cool effect. I'm not sure I can keep that on all the time, but it does look pretty. But anyway, kind of going off on a tangent on the looks of the game. But yeah, basically that race used to be here, and so you're exploring the worlds and everything and finding their artifacts. Now, one of the next kind of features that I think is really cool is they're going to have what are called guardians. You'll be able to go to worlds, and there will be guardians that you'll kind of have to defeat if you want to be on that world. And there's also guardians that are called titans. Apparently, they're going to be very large. They said much larger than the player is kind of how it's described. And you'll have to kind of band together to fight them. Now, a lot of the stuff that I'm talking about, maybe except for the Titans, you know, so far we haven't really touched on anything that's that unique, right, between this and Minecraft, and I think there's elements of this game that even remind me of Starbound. but they do have a lot of other features as well. So you can, for example, band together and build cities with other players and kind of run them. You can create guilds. One of the things I was reading that I thought was pretty exciting was that you can find resources in the world and basically claim them, and they're going to be, you know, kind of rare. So you could build kind of your own town around it, and other players may need that, and you can kind of work with other, for example, cities, I would imagine, other players essentially, to kind of trade. You know, you've got this resource, we've got these, so we'll do trades, and I thought that was a really cool concept. It just creates this really cool idea of basically traveling between worlds for rare resources and everything, or having to fight off a particular guardian from an area in order to get to some really special resources. So I think that's a pretty cool idea. Now, I talked about there's not really any creatures here or anything, and there aren't yet, but when there are, those are going to be kind of varied by world as well. And I was actually just reading tonight that what they want to do is they want you to be able to find creatures in one particular world and then guide them back through a portal and bring them into your world where they may not have existed at all. So, you know, you could maybe create a portal to a world and find this really cool kind of creature and say, you know what, let's bring these back to our world. And, you know what, have them breed, get more of them. And so it's just a really cool benefit, I guess, for exploring, you know, between the resources and the creatures and finding other players and their locations and everything. Very, very cool concept that I'm pretty excited about. Now, when we're talking about the big worlds and, you know, the players and everything, they have this other kind of description. I'm actually looking at it right now where they describe it's kind of an example where they say, you know, there could be ocean worlds where land is scarce and players live on small islands. There could be mountain worlds that dominate the landscape, where travel is difficult. Desert worlds where minerals and metals are common, but food is rare and survival is harsh. So you can imagine trading with some other world for food or, you know, some kind of supplies if you were really wanting to make it in that, you know, really harsh world. So anyway, it just really presents some really cool opportunities to work together, creating these kind of, you know, cities or these like kind of cultures, these groups of people, and working together. It's pretty cool. Now, one of the kind of frequently asked questions that people ask, I noticed, was about claiming land. Or what about griefers? Can they do this? You know, can people just come in and start destroying stuff? Obviously, that's going to be a question, especially when I can switch to a shovel and you can see we can just kind of tear this stuff up. And of course, we're pre-alpha right now, so really it doesn't take much to tear anything up, and there's no tools to craft. You can just automatically do this. So that stuff's coming. But what they're planning on doing is they have these beacons. I believe in the build they have now, not this one that we actually get to play, but they have them in the test world, I guess. Basically beacons that you can use to claim land and then kind of rule that land, essentially. So you can, as they described, you can invite your friends, join territories, build portals to connect to other worlds. That's some stuff that I talked about before. And they go on to talk about how, you know, again, like I mentioned, player-run cities, and you know, attracting other players to that as well. So anyway, it's a pretty cool idea to be able to, you know, obviously claim the land, and then you don't have to worry about people coming in and just breaking it down. And that's kind of how the city setup would work, I would imagine, just a number of people claiming land near each other. So anyway, I think it's a pretty cool concept. Like I said, I'm pretty excited, and I just wanted to show you guys kind of a bit about a bit of the game here as far as what it looks like and everything. And I'm kind of talk to you about some of the features. I'm actually glancing over the list right now to see if I've kind of missed anything that's really big. They talk about that it's a, you know, fully player-driven economy. You could probably assume that based on what I've described, because you're going to be trading loot, as they say. So that's going to be a thing. They talk about deciphering the mysteries of the lost, you know, the Ort civilization. So you know, I talked about that a little bit. Gathering resources from different worlds. You can instant travel between worlds. I talked a bit about that. They're talking about different ways of having transportation. They use some of this I'm not really familiar with. Rope slingers, steam packs, and other equipment, they say. And you saw me use the grappling hook, so that gives you an example. Basically, when it goes red, I can just click the ground, and if I jump, it really pulls me towards it. It's actually a really cool way to move underwater currently, and I don't know if it'll always stay that way, but maybe I'll start running this way and we can run across. We got some water here. Actually, that's another feature here. You can see the fully reflective water. Very, very cool. And no, we cannot see our own reflection, fortunately. So let's see, we do have some water here. It's probably not all that deep, but yeah, you can basically hold a spacebar to jump, and I can just like keep clicking the ground. You can see you move very quickly this way. So anyway, I don't know if that's going to stay that way or not, but I don't know if that's really that big of a deal if it were to stay in. But I'm really blown away by how the game looks. I'm actually very blown away at how well the game runs as well. I've got a lot of stuff ramped up on this as far as graphical options go. I'm right now recording in 60 frames per second, and it's running, like I said, it's running very well. So I'm really surprised for procedurally generated worlds and as large as this is. You know, it's really well polished. Now, when I say really well polished, obviously, you know, I do want to reiterate again that there's not a lot of features right now, so please do keep that in mind. But I'm very excited about the future of this game. They've got a lot of cool stuff lined up. I'm also going to have a link down in the description for more information about the game, so you guys can check that out. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I just wanted to jump in here and introduce you guys to the game, see what you thought of it. So please do leave me a like on the video if you want to see me cover this game some more. If you want to see me do maybe a series on this, probably down the road when there's some more features. I'm definitely keeping that in mind. There's really, like I said, not much to do. We could go around and check out other player creations. I've done a little bit of that, and people have done some stuff and are getting started, so that's pretty cool. But anyway, yeah, I think I'm going to leave it at that. I've kind of gone through the stuff that I'm really excited about. There's obviously some more features. Again, I'm going to link to those so you can really check that out if you'd like. But thanks for watching, everybody. I appreciate it, and I will catch you next time.